Wake him up and have him come out and talk to us. 7 o'clock in the morning here. It's probably 10 o'clock in different places, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, wherever you're at. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, Kurt, we're going to talk about millionaire psychology. And so, if we can get him to share his screen, we're going to let him take the next section. All right.
Here we go again, Millionaire Psychology number 12. Buckle up. Let's talk about that speed to success, that speed of wealth, things you need to be doing to take your life, your income, your success, your goals to the next level, even your relationships to the next level. What is it that successful people are doing that you're not doing? Remember, wealth and success is an old book test. We're talking about those answers. Now, last time we talked about leverage, increasing your speed. We talked about mentors. We talked about different things that can make a big difference for you. We're going to continue on that today because there's strength in unity. Remember, 1 + 1 = 11? Have you heard that before? Yes, teams, mentor, leverage, relationships. We need to talk about those things in your life, things that are helping and things that are hurting. Like this father was tired of his sons fighting. They're all trying to prove their worth. Who's better? Who's the better son? And he had them go out and pick up sticks. Like, okay, what's this for? And they brought all these sticks. He's like, all right, let's have a contest. They each broke a stick. They tried 2 sticks, tried to break it. 3, 4, 5. And when they got the big bundle, they couldn't break it. They needed a team to break it. They needed different tools to break it. Meaning that when we're together, tied together, all these little sticks, we're stronger, we're better. There's more unity and there's more strength. 1 at a time, 2 at a time, we call it breaking, but when they're all together, you cannot break them. That's what we're talking about as we get through this process. So let's talk about this leverage and things you can do to increase your speed to wealth. So now we need to find your team. Success is not a solo project. There's synergy. There's something about working together, having a great team that helps us with an abundance mentality. There's plenty to go around. And you might be asking yourself, well, why would anybody want to be on my team? Because you have something to offer. They have something to offer. There's, again, that synergy, that energy in working with a team. Power is released when we work together. That's why when you're in a room, that brainstorming, that synergy, that energy, you just accomplish more faster, more accountability. I can go on and on. Team is critical. Find the best people to join your team that have a great attitude. You don't want selfish, negative people on your team. You want people that can really bring the best out of you and you can synergize together with the team. That's why you always select the right people. And there's a variety of different teams you can do. If you're in real estate, maybe you want a mortgage broker on your team. Maybe you want someone that's really good at fixing places up. Maybe you want someone who's out there finding the properties. Maybe you want somebody that has relationships at the bank. Maybe you want somebody that works at a title company. That type of team, you're all together, different strengths. You can unify and do what you do best. Now, there's other types of teams too. It's up to you. You could have more than one team. I remember a team I've had to where we'd meet once a month and everything we talked about was confidential. There was somebody that was a software salesperson. There was a pharmaceutical rep. There was a medical doctor. There was a lawyer. There was me. I'm an author trainer. Completely very different arenas, professions, education, but that was the power of that team. We just go around. What is your biggest challenge right now? And you get different insights, different things you didn't even think about with different industries, different education, different insights. You choose. Who do you want on your team? What type of team do you need? And decide how often you want to meet. Is it monthly? Is it weekly? Is it online? Is it over the phone? You choose. At the minimum, make it once a month. This is what we're going to call your mastermind group. Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich. Having a mastermind group that works for you. Maybe people of different personality, background, styles. And when you have these meetings, make sure they're upbeat, they're encouraging, they're fun, people look forward to them, that they're positive brainstorming sessions. You're not just focusing on the negative, but you're coming up with solutions that can make a difference. A lot of team meetings, mastermind groups have an agenda to follow, so everyone gets a chance to get help, get feedback, to give feedback, and again, at least once a month. Again, many people default to, well, who would want to be on my team? They do. You bring something to the table. What are your strengths? Find people that have the strengths that you need and help them out. You're helping them achieve their goals. They're helping you achieve your goals. There's synergy. There's energy. There's something there. So you can have different types of teams. You can have multiple teams. You can have mastermind groups, your goals together, and help everyone achieve their goals. Maybe there's one common goal for the team that you can achieve. So as you look around, who do you want on your team? Who has the skills that you need? And careful, a lot of people just choose their friends, and that could be the right decision, maybe. The challenge, though, is that maybe they're not qualified for your team. Maybe they don't have the skills that you need. Maybe you're just inviting them because it's easier. They're your friend. And the other challenge is most of your friends have your same personality. No, you want people with different personalities that think different, that see things different. That's okay, as long as you synergize and work together. So this is another form of leverage to increase your speed to wealth. You need to find your team. Choose slowly. Make sure they're the right person. You don't want to fire people from your team. I mean, you can. But you want to find the people that can really make a big difference and go big. Think big. Who is that perfect person on your team? And maybe you don't know right now. Just put it out there to the universe. Think it through. You'll meet people. Think about people. This mastermind group, this team, really increases your speed to wealth. Remember, 1 + 1 = 11. If you put your two fingers together, 1 + 1 = 11. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, when people get together, it's huge. Now, with that also, something that can really help or hurt is look at your relationships. Are they radioactive? You've heard it before. You take your 10 friends' income, average it. That's your income. So you might need new friends, friends that are making more money, that are more successful, friends that don't suck the life out of you, friends that are always using excuses. I mean, when you look at your habits from smoking to drinking to drugs to weight, you look at your friends, a lot of times they're pretty identical. And when you get in groups like that, it's easy to blame others, point fingers, get stuck in that blame cycle. It's interesting when I have people list the 10 reasons they're not as successful as they want to be. Most people forget themselves. Most people forget to put their friends on that list. These are big things. So are they radioactive, meaning are they sucking the life out of you? Now, I get it. We've talked about that some family, maybe even some friends, maybe some coworkers you have to be around. You can limit your time with them. But you can always ask yourself, do I like them? Do I trust them? Do I respect them? Or is this a good relationship for you? Do you need to minimize the time? Do you need to change your mindset that when you do have to spend time with them, that you're not letting them pull you down? You can switch it up and maybe even use it as a motivator. Like, watch me. And we've talked about success is the best revenge. Watch me. Remember when I decided to become a best-selling author? I told my family and friends, and I went to that family gathering. Hey, bestseller, how's your book coming? Right? They're just little jabs here and there. People like to mock you, pull you down, spit on your dreams. That's how people are. But hey, when it became a bestseller, that was my success. That was me. But when they said that, I just said, no, just wait. Watch me. I'm going to do this. I turned it from radioactive to something positive. That is what you need to do. And then also ask yourself, too, is, how do they make you feel? Are they pulling you up, pulling you down? Are they full of negative energy, positive energy? Are they more optimistic, pessimistic? Because your relationships, more than anything else, is going to dictate how fast or slow to get to wealth, to get to success, to achieve your goals. I mean, it's hard if the people around you are always pulling you down, spitting on your dreams, sucking the life out of you. So if you can't limit your time with them, if you can't get new friends, and I know you can get new friends, you can get better friends, you get more positive friends, take that radioactiveness, that negativity, and just say, all right, I got this. That's them. That is not me. And I love what Stephen Covey said. He says, relationships are a lot like bank accounts. There's deposit and withdrawals. So there are people in your life right now that are never depositing anything. They're always withdrawing your energy, right? Always doing something that's always withdrawal. So That's okay every once in a while, but if that's all they do, you got to find people that are going to deposit into your bank account, into your relationship bank account to help you improve, get better, and have the relationships you need that are pulling you up, giving you energy, they're motivating, and they don't suck the life out of you. Now, I get it. When you look at relationships, your greatest happiness comes from relationships and your greatest sorrow. If you've been beat up, had bad relationships in the past, you can't give up. When you have good relationships, you live longer, you're happier, you're more trusting. There's a lot of positive elements in there. And I get it. There's some negative relationships there. You've had some relationships in the past that maybe didn't work out, that maybe you still have some wounds, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep developing relationships. Because the more people you know, the bigger your network, right? We've talked about this. The easier it is for you to increase your speed to wealth, be more successful, and achieve your goals. Another skill that's critical for that leverage, every successful person has mastered this and they don't teach it in school, is your ability to influence others. To get others to want to do what you want them to do and like doing it. The ability to persuade is critical to your success. You've got to learn it somewhere. Most CEOs have a sales and marketing background. This is key. Napoleon Hill talked about this. After he wrote Think and Grow Rich, his books were on persuasion, public speaking, a lot of these soft skills that successful people have. Aren't you influential? Are you? This is critical. People need to trust you. People need to be influenced by you. That is what you need. Most businesses fail because of lack of sales, which means you can't persuade and influence people to do business with you. So are you persuasive? Are you influential? Just a few things you need to think about with this. First of all, the biggest blunder when you talk about persuasion and your default setting as a human is you tend to persuade others how you like to be persuaded. That's your default setting. That's wrong. You need to learn to persuade and influence others how they want to be influenced, how they want to be persuaded. You have to adapt to their personality, to their culture, to their age, to the way they think. That's how you need to persuade, and that's key. It's not one size fits all. You should be adapting. You should be changing your persuasion techniques depending on the person, their personality, their culture, their age. All those things matter. Number two, the goal here, you get really good at persuasion influence, is your goal is to help people persuade themselves. That is your goal. Because the moment, for most people, that they say you're going to try to persuade them, even though they need it, want it, like it, can afford it, they're going to resist you. It's quicker, easier, faster, and better. So if you can just plant the seeds, ask the right questions. It's no secret that great persuaders ask 3 times more questions, and they're better listeners. They listen with their ears, their eyes, and their heart. I mean, you can go and vomit on them, the 27 reasons they should do it, but if you can learn to listen and ask the right questions, they'll tell you everything you need to know to persuade and influence them. That's the key. And get more tools, more persuasion and influence tools. Most people have 3, 4, maybe 5 influence tools they use over and over and over again. Heard the saying? If the only tool in your toolbox is a hammer, you treat everyone like a nail. No. I mean, could you chop down a tree with a hammer? Sure, if you had enough time, energy, and resources. But there's better tools, an axe, a chainsaw, a tractor, stick of dynamite. There are different things that can take out that tree, and you need to understand that. In fact, here are the tools that most people have. They use them over and over again. They've picked them up maybe on the playground. They maybe heard the boss say, duty or fired. And, that's negative persuasion. We won't be talking about that. Let's say Brussels sprouts. Let's talk about Brussels sprouts. One of the worst vegetables, in my opinion, one of the worst vegetables on the planet. Let's say you're online, look at the computer, you have a little 5-year-old son, Johnny Jr., and this article pops up that if you don't cook Brussels sprouts for your kids, you're a bad parent. They list all the reasons why you feel guilty. You buy it, you cook them. The whole house smells bad. And you get little Johnny Jr. to come to dinner, and you're like, eat your Brussels sprouts, please. You're the authority figure, you're the parent, you ask nicely, they're like, no. That didn't work. And then you try the data dump. Vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, and zinc, and antioxidants, and you just go down the list. Hair on your chest, better on soccer. They're like, no, I don't want hair on my chest. And they say no. Like, oh. Then you try your people skills. I'm your mom, I'm your dad, all the fun things we do. You're being nice. No. Then you say, well, if you eat your Brussels sprouts, they'll give you ice cream. They're like, no. And then what's your last tool? Do it or else. Okay? And, fill the blank, fast forward to the business place. It's the same thing. People ask nicely, they date a dump, they try to reward you, then they yell at you because that's the only tool they have. So get more tools. Learn to be more influential, more persuasive. Benchmark the people around you who are very influential and persuasive. It is a key skill for you to be able to do that. The other part here is to understand people skills. Understand when people like you and trust you, influence is easy. Do people like you? Do they? I mean, it's easy to get along with people that are like you, but you have to get along with everyone. You need to persuade anyone. So, it's interesting. For example, that, to say at work or maybe in your neighborhood, that annoying person that rubs you the wrong way? That person that thinks they're funny but they're not? That person that, just irritating, annoying, right? You don't tell that, but just like, ooh, that could be you. That is you. You're the annoying person. Again, you can get along with people that are like you, but you need to get along with everybody. Work on your people skills. Can you develop instant rapport? I mean, some people you meet, you just connect with. Some people you meet, you're like, oh. And you don't want to be that person. And you can improve. You have not arrived in your people skills. You can learn to be a nicer person. You can learn to have more charm. You can learn to be more likable. This is something that you can do. People do business with people they like and trust. That's just how it is. And that's the next one with influence is, do people trust you? Do they? Do they? Hey, it used to be, I trust you, give me a reason not to. Now it's I don't trust you, you better give me a reason to trust you. So even though you're a good, trustworthy person, you have to earn that trust. And that's a whole nother module we probably need to talk about. Building trust is critical. It's part of influence. It's part of your persuasion IQ. You need to match this skill. And the biggest one is your credibility. Are you credible? Are you accepted as the expert? I'm just going to put it out there. You can borrow credibility temporarily. Eventually you need to earn it. What I mean is that if you can do a recommendation, an endorsement, a testimonial, have other people toot your horn, say good things about you, that's how you borrow credibility. I mean, you can say good things about yourself, but it's always better for someone else to say good things about you. So if you're meeting someone for the first time, have someone send an email, put in a good word, leave a voicemail, introduce you. So introductions, referrals, recommendations, testimonials is all borrowed credibility. So if you don't feel like it, you could borrow that. For example, there's 3 or 4 people that you're working with and you're brand new, you say, well, collectively, we have 40 years of experience. Even though you don't have that much, you can borrow credibility from others. Do it. Again, you have to earn it eventually, but you can borrow credibility. So those are power tools, things that are important, give you great leverage when you can persuade and influence, have those people skills, develop that rapport, earn people's trust, borrow credibility. That makes a big difference for your success. So let's get into the homework. So how do you rank your people skills, your persuasion skills, your trust? Do people trust you? Do people like you? Do they? Are you sure? Be honest here. This is not an area where we've just arrived, we're good, especially persuasion, people skills, all of those. What do you need to work on? What do you need to improve? So pick something, start working on it. Listen to the podcast, get the book, find a mentor. Any of those things can work very well for you, but you have to identify it first. What is it in the world of persuasion, influence, trust, people skills that you need to work on? Because that little thing of helping people persuade themselves, getting more persuasion tools, getting people to want to do what you want them to do and like doing it, and telling other people to do it too. Now you're talking. That's what great successful people do. So think about it. Persuasion, influence, people skills, trust. What is it that you need to work on? I mean, you might have a list of 10, but let's pick 1 or 2 that we can work on right now, that you can benchmark other people. You can get information, read the book, find it on the internet, whatever you need to do. Persuasion, influence is a key factor to your success. I mean, what is millionaire psychology? That is self-persuasion. If you can't persuade yourself, you can't persuade others. That's a great start, but you also have to be more persuasive. So master that skill, identify what you need to work on, Work on it, do the homework, become a better person, become more influential, leverage yourself with your relationships and your team, and you know the drill. We're going to go out and make the world a better place.
Thanks, Kurt. It's always great to have Kurt in the house with us. Makes a huge difference on how you do what you do and how you are becoming successful. Thanks, everybody. We're going to be right back with our next section.